Ensign Tendi really likes ice. Roga Danar totally outsmarted Picard. And denobulan flesh-eating bacteria will eat right through your underpants. Hey, everybody, and welcome to The Seventh Rule with Cirroc Lofton.
Hello, hello.
Today we are reviewing Lower Decks, Episode 8. Title is Veritas. Our very special guest today is Commander John Tufarella.
Hello, hello.
All right.
My name is Ryan T. Husk, and where are you calling in from, John? By the way, associate producer.
Yes, I finally made that leap. It's been a long time coming, but I'm there.
Our brand new associate producer. Welcome to the team. I mean, he's always been part of our team since the very beginning, right? Since
I think so. Yeah.
January of 2019.
Is your shop back open up, John, or how's it going for business?
Well, I think COVID's still kind of kicking our asses a little bit, but you know we're plugging away.
Mm-hmm.
We opened up part time, so we're just doing the Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing. Okay. I gotta spend the rest of the week homeschooling the three hellions that are not going back to physical school. So,
aw, hellions, that's sweet.
Hellions, devil, whatever you want to call them.
All right. So on that note, let's talk about Lower Decks. By the way, everybody, please do us a favor. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon, because that's like virtual currency to us. If you want to do something a little bit more tangible with regards to currency, just go over to patreon.com/the7th-rule and throw us an item of currency. Any kind of denomination is great. We really appreciate it. Let's talk about Lower Decks. This was called Veritas. Oh, I get it. Truth. Because they're trying to get to the truth. What'd you think of it, John? Funniest episode of the year so far?
I'd say it was pretty good. I don't know about funniest, but it was definitely up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have to go with that, too. I think it was up there. I think this is one of the best episodes that we've seen so far. There were a couple of really hilarious moments in this episode. A lot of bleeps and beeps and which I'm actually happy for, because I don't need the curse words to get the point across, you know.
Well, they also played some comedy out of the beeps, which was really funny. Like when Tendi was saying she had to censor her memories, and what's his name, Ransom says, "Oh, we're gonna be flying out all the way into the neutral zone," but she beeps out the thing, so he goes, "Neutral zone, own." So it's like you can totally tell exactly what he's saying. Then when he talks about Romulus, he's like, "Oh, we're going over to Rom, Euless."
Yes.
That's good, solid humor to me. I love that.
I love it too, and I also really love the little blacked out lines on the character's eyes, so you didn't know who it was. But meanwhile, you've got the Andorian and all these guys. It's like so recognizable, but just because you can't see their eyes, it's like that's good enough to shade him out. I thought that was a nice little comedic touch too.
You know where I used to always see that, actually? In Paris Match. My mom's French magazine. She's a French lady from France. And when you're looking through, whatever the articles, especially if it's like a tragedy, like pictures out of an earthquake or a volcano eruption or something, they would put the line over the eyes, I guess out of respect to like say, oh, well, we don't want to give away their identity, to these people crying or whatever it is. But I would see that all the time. But I kind of remember thinking that same thing you're saying, where it's like, well, you can kind of tell who that is, right? I mean, is that really making that big of a difference? I mean, can we not tell who Geordi is because he's wearing a visor or what?
Guess who it is, guys? You'll never guess.
To hide the eye scanners so they can't get the readings.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea who it is if they're wearing sunglasses.
Right.
Well, I did like the fact that in this episode, Ryan, that they went away from the crazy alien flipping it, They went away from that model and they did something different. they really used the fact that they had a lot of that they have this blank slate of animation, so they can throw in as much stuff as they want. And I think they used that the best in this particular episode.
Yeah, this felt like it was the first episode that wasn't a regular standard, story arc. This was just, it was like a clip episode, like a clip show episode, but with clips we hadn't seen before is kind of what it seemed like. It didn't have an actual, a through story so much. It was almost like the story that was happening with the officers on trial / on celebration. That almost just seemed like a B plot. And the A plot was the individual memories or fake memories, almost like when the Simpsons do their Halloween House of Horrors or whatever. I know John knows what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Nobody sees the Simpsons Halloween specials?
Not like you.
I don't know if they still do it, but they used to always have like these, it was like a clip episode for Halloween. It's pretty cool. Everybody else knows. You guys are the only two that don't.
Okay, good.
It's all right. We can be clueless together.
No, actually, the clips that I liked the most were Rutherford's entire scenes in this episode. I thought his clips were the best out of everybody's testimony, and that's the kind of thing that I was wishing that they would do with Rutherford more often, like play him in the realm of the glitch. Something's glitching in his in his circuitry. So they actually played that, and I thought it worked very well in this. What do you think, John?
I liked it. I like the, all right, I'm just shutting down, go to sleep, and then wake back up. Oh, where the hell am I? One of the big things I liked about the scenes for that, the shuttle that they brought back in for that whole process, the long two-pronged, old school transport shuttle.
Right.
I meant to look up the class of what it was last night because it was bugging me and I completely spaced out.
Yeah, and it was funny because when he visits the Gorn, which was really cool, he glitches out or he reboots or whatever, and then he's like, oh, what? Still Gorn? Oh, no. But I do have a minor nitpick about that scene, you guys. Like, let's be honest here. Their shuttle or his shuttle crash lands on the planet. Totally decimated shuttle. He drags himself out. The people at the outdoor wedding don't hear or notice a shuttle crashing 15 feet behind them, but they notice him standing there. Like, that's just one of my little things where I'm like, wait a second.
That doesn't add up.
That's not a thing.
Yeah, I think you may be the only person that caught that particular. I don't know anybody that caught that. I didn't. I wasn't looking at it like that. I was happy that they were able to stuff so many different scenes into this episode, so it didn't feel. Yeah, it didn't feel slow. It felt like whoa. They're throwing a whole lot of stuff in here, and because they're able to go into each person's perspective of how things unfolded, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lots of references in this one. It was great.
Tell us the ones you caught. Let's see. I was just going to say, it's time to go over all these references.
You definitely got the argument about who's better between, Roga, Danar and versus Khan. Obviously, we're going with the old school Khan because with that new guy. What was it? The references where they start talking about Dr. Crusher with the ghost. I know that's been mentioned a couple times in prior things that you guys have talked about.
Sub Rosa, yeah. That was pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah, that was one mentioned. They also mentioned the giant Spock of Philos or in Philos. that was an animated series, Star Trek, the original series, animated series. And you know that right away, because as soon as they said a giant Spock, I didn't even have to think, wait, was that in the anime series or the original series? Because the original series didn't have the budget to make a giant Spock. So I immediately was like, okay, that was in the animated series. I don't remember what the storyline was, but I do remember seeing that. And they also had the Salt Vampire.
Sucker.
Yeah, let me pull something up. Our good buddy Don Crandall, who always sneaks into almost every episode here because he finds a few things. He mentioned, by the way, the episode that he does mention that the episode with the giant Spock on Philos was the episode of the animated series that was written by Walter Koenig. I believe that was the only one that he wrote. I think he only wrote one. But he said that, and I'm not sure if I agree with this, but who was it? I think it was Mariner. When she comes onto the bridge, no, it wasn't Mariner. One of them, they come onto the bridge and they're like in an alternate reality where the bridge officers are different people.
That's the cat character behind you.
Yeah.
Yep.
They said, I call her Crazy Cat Lady. And when they came on and they said that they didn't remember Mariner or whoever the character was seeing this. Oh no, you're saying it was the Crazy Cat Lady that walked in and they didn't remember. Okay, you're right. It was that. So Don Crandall surmised that might be a play on my favorite Beverly Crusher episode on Next Generation, which was Remember Me. I don't think so because that was just kind of a different story, but there is the similarity in that it's the two doctors. I do remember saying that. So, okay. Yeah, so that could be a thing. I think he might have said, the dancing fan thing he pointed out, where he's doing the distracting dance that was really funny, was Uhura did that in an original series episode. I missed that as well.
Really?
That was funny.
The movie, when she was on the desert, Cybok and all them.
Yeah.
The religious fanatics.
Remember Cirroc?
Yeah, I was wondering where that reference came from. The fan hands reference, and I actually liked that. That was kind of hilarious. Distract him with the fan hand.
And then the guy's like, "Stop it! You're distracting me."
I like those jokes. I thought that was a great little. I didn't realize it was a reference though to something else, but I thought it was a good joke and it played well in this one.
Star Trek V, I think. Those were the big references. I'm sure there was
another one that I remember. That was the Q reference.
That was the biggest. You're right. I mean, well, that was a flat out. He popped up.
Appearance. Yeah, it was flat out appearance. But yeah, Q chasing them down and Q. Why don't you go mess with Picard? He's like, all he wants to do is quote Shakespeare and
make wine. He's boring. He's boring. Let me see. What did he say exactly? He said, Picard, he's no fun. He's always quoting Shakespeare and always making wine.
Right. Now, that was John Delancey. He did get a voiceover work on this one, right?
Yeah, that was definitely him.
Okay.
Also, there was Boimler yells out drumhead when he was talking about a fair trial, and that was actually a trial episode of Next Generation, as in an episode of Next Generation that involved a trial. I don't know if you remember that one, John. By the way, awesome uniform, John. We forgot to mention that.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
That's legit. I like that one.
It's a little snug. I need to get the next size up. But we got somebody that's going to be working on actually doing a bunch of uniforms for us. She's a seamstress that just joined up with our crew. And she's going to be doing some work and hopefully getting everybody dressed properly.
Oh, tell us about your crew, by the way. We should have given that a shout out, too. That's really important. You just commissioned a brand new ship this past weekend, right?
Yeah.
We did. We commissioned with Starfleet Command. We are the oldest Star Trek fan club that was actually sponsored by Gene Roddenberry himself. So we are the USS Aaron Eisenberg. And
All right.
we our official commissioning this past Saturday at K's on Cards. We had I think 10 crew in attendance, and then we had about 30 different people joining us on Zoom. And then a lot of our crew couldn't make it, but we listed them off. We've got a video that will be going up at some point of the ceremony. But we're going into this with a crew of about 40.
Wow. Big time.
Not to mention positions that have been accepted by quite a few of the actors out there.
And there are a lot of Seventh Rule people that are involved with that, right? You want to name a few off?
Well, we've got Rex Wood. We got Homer Frizzell. Rex is a Starbase commander, so he's not technically our crew, but he's still crew. We have Homer Frizzell, who is going to be our linguistics officer. We have Heather Jordan, who is going to be the XO, so she's number one.
Number one.
Yvette Blackmon is on there. Monahan, Moretta. There's quite a few.
Awesome.
Eve England joined up, and she's now officially a member of our crew as well. I know I'm missing names, but
sure. Well, we love Eve because her favorite Star Trek movie is Star Trek V because she lives in Wales.
Oh, yeah. No. So you said
no. Sorry,
no. John, you said you apply through Starfleet Command. Is that how it goes?
Starfleet Command. I can post up some links to all of our pages and then the actual official Starfleet Command page. They have options for year memberships, lifetime, so on and so forth. It's pretty cheap. It's like $12.
Yeah.
So just to get your foot in the door, get certificates and everything with your name on them, the ship that you get commissioned to or that you get assigned to. So yeah, it's a pretty fun thing. We're going to be doing a lot of work with some different charity organizations once we are physically able to be interactive, in real life without the COVID kind of screwing things up. There's some, we're going to look into some of the kidney research places because we know that would, make Aaron happy. And then, Make-A-Wish, Habitat for Humanity, stuff like that I've had some interaction with in the past.
Very cool. That's awesome. Definitely keep us posted on all that. Especially the Kidney Foundation. That's definitely Aaron's thing that he championed for us all.
Oh yeah.
Couple quick things back to the show. There were a couple other references I remembered. One was, what's his name? Billups, I think it's this guy's Billups. When he was like tripping balls about something, he says, "Tasha, no, the garbage bag's behind you." I think that may have been in reference to, the Skin of Evil where she gets killed by Armus, right? It looks like a giant black trash bag. Also, I don't know if this was necessarily an Easter egg, but when there's the Romulans walking by and he's like, "You know who I hate? Remans." And that's because in Star Trek Nemesis, they had Remans. These are, vampire-looking guys that shared the planet Romulus with Romulus. They're indigenous to the planet. And I don't know about you guys, but I've always been like, dude, what happened to the Remans? I want more Remans. They're so cool. But we didn't see any at all ever since then. And they at least mentioned them in this one. I would love to see some.
Well, that's because Ron Perlman packed up his ball and went home.
He was awesome.
Oh, Ron Perlman was in there?
Yeah, he was this big, badass Reman alien.
He had Sons of Anarchy he had to go do, so I fault him nothing.
Yeah, he's Hellboy.
Yeah, and our buddy Doug is Ape Sapien. So they're both in Hellboy and both in Star Trek. They were both in a lot of things.
Now we just got to come back in.
Mm-hmm.
I liked when Rutherford was going through his glitches, and one of the glitches said, "Updating Klingon fonts." And he was like, "Why do I need that?"
Or the cloaked bird of prey that he kept banging into.
Yeah,
That was good, subtle humor. I like that. I thought that was smart.
it was good, subtle humor. The other thing was that I didn't notice, but that eye that he has was pixelated when they did a close-up on it. And so, it was like a really pixelated block pattern for the pupil of his eye.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, oh, look at that. They went through the old school video game pixelation for his cyber eye. I like that.
So Roga Danar, do you how well do you remember him, John Tufarella?
Decently enough, I think. But now that I said that, I'll probably completely space on it. I know he's a badass, and he definitely got one over.
Yeah.
Not going with that.
He was definitely one of those guys where you're like, Roga Danar, who was that? I remember that name. And I did a quick search, and I'm like, okay, I remember that. Everybody, when they look it up, they go, oh, that guy. I remember that guy.
So he got one over on Kirk. That's what he's
Picard.
known for, or Picard? What did he get over on him?
John, do you recall?
I'm going to let you take this one because I haven't. It's been a couple of years since I've seen the episode.
Okay.
I don't recall. It's been a couple decades for me.
Okay, all right. Bug alien, just roll with it. That was my line. That was my favorite thing with Mariners. Like, just roll with it, man. It's a bug alien. What kind of alien is that?
Yeah,
I do know
Clickets.
Old game. He was one of the hardest cards to get my hands on to complete a set back in the day. So he pisses me off.
Who was?
Roga Danar.
No way.
Yeah. There's a collectible card game that was put out 25 years ago. It's long past dead, but people still play it. But he was in one of the original sets, and that was one of the last cards that it took me about a decade to get my hands onto.
Wow.
Yeah.
The elusive Roga Danar card. It's like a buck of pie.
He did not want to be found in, real life or in so.
Yeah, he knows how to hide. He knows how to trick people. Did you have a card that was even less easily found? I was going to go back to the show, but I'm like, I kind of got to know, like, more about this card stuff. Was there somebody even more elusive to you?
Some of the later on sets, they had a couple ultra rare cards. There was a James T. Kirk, which I found out recently has spiked in price. It's like stupid expensive. For a dead card game, the card's like $350. Which I'm like, I think I might have one of those, and I found one. I have one, but I'm still looking for a Dr. McCoy from the Trouble with Tribbles set that they put out.
Okay,
that's on my search list.
I would give you mine, but I only have one.
Very good, very funny. I've got a bunch of old Star Trek cards. I think I got. I'll look through them. I don't know if I got a. What was the actual game or set called?
It was. I would think they called it Trouble with Tribbles for the set, and it was the Star Trek card game from Decipher. Was the company that put it out. They also did the Star Wars card game. So they were the three. Between Magic, Star Trek, and Star Wars, they rotated out, the top three games for a long time, but Magic always kept that number one spot.
The Horn of Kandor.
Yeah, was that also JG's voice?
I don't think so, but John and I were talking about that, how it kind of sounded like him, but I don't think so.
That was JG.
You think so? I don't think so. Let me see.
John, what do you think? Didn't it sound like JG at a few times?
Pretty excited. Last week we were watching the previews, and it kicked through real quick, and I'm like, oh, he's coming back, as another thing. And And I had a couple drinks last week, so I wasn't really clear on it, which that's all right.
I mean, 2 drinks in a week isn't that bad.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
Sure, let's go with that. But no, then I went back through and I froze both clips, and I'm like, well, that's definitely not the same alien that I was thinking of. And I can hear the subtle differences in the voice. It could be. He could come out of left field and shock us, but I don't think it was.
I don't think so.
I was going to say, I caught another name in the credits for this. I don't know if maybe he snuck in there. Kenneth Mitchell?
That's what I was just looking at. Yeah, Kenneth Mitchell did a voice on this episode. And I don't know which one it is. I don't know if that was him doing that or if they had him, doing another alien. I mean, they had so many aliens in and out with all these memories. Really could have been any of them. And on IMDb, it doesn't say which character he voiced yet, but it does say that there is no J.G. Hertzler credited yet.
Oh. Well, I would guess that Kenneth was the voice of the guy who was waiting for the birthday party after this.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting in the box seats up there.
That's a good guess. That could be.
He's like, I'm just here for a birthday party or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that could have been Kenneth. It sounded like it might be him. I don't know. I'm just still set on the fact that the main guy was JG because the voice was almost identical. There were certain ways he pronounced words where it was like, is that JG? There's no way. So I'm until somebody proves me otherwise.
Well, see, for me, it was like, I thought the same, but then there was the other half of the time, he was saying things that didn't sound like exactly. Yeah. So I was like, I don't think it's him. The other alien we recognized right away as him. This one was like, is that him? Nah. Wait, but is it? Nah.
Yeah.
It's kind of going back and forth.
I kept doing that. And I was thinking, this guy he has the, JG has this certain accent where it's like, you don't know where it's from really.
Right.
Right? It's not a British accent. It's just an accent.
It's Klingon.
And I felt like I heard that accent when he was talking in the opening of this episode.
If only there were a way for us to ask Mike McMahon. He might know. Sorry, what were you saying, John?
Because he always has that growl in his voice too, like even just in general day-to-day talk. You always feel like he bites you anytime.
Yeah, it's gravelly. It's like when he eats Rocky Road ice cream, it's really made out of rocky roads.
Oh, God. I'm going to thumbs down that one.
That's just what I heard.
Ryan, why do you say that?
Oh, who is that? Was that?
I don't know. That's all I can do. I ain't no JG. Oh, you know what else was funny in this episode I thought was really great? Was like when he kept saying, quiet, they're scanning. And it's just, no, now you can go. No, quiet, they're scanning. Remember?
Yeah. No, wait.
Yeah.
Tendi busting out the serious kung fu was unexpected as well. That was pretty peculiar. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Suddenly they're all like superstars that can do crazy. I'm like, wow, so now Tendi is also incredibly good at fighting. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's cool, but
and growing up on Orion, you got all the slave pitch you got to deal with. Maybe
that's true.
That's true. There was another line there, speaking of Tendi, where she was saying something, and she says, you realize and she says, yeah, the cleaner at your age, that's impressive. Very impressive.
I don't remember that.
Line. Yeah, it was a silly line. She was just trying to say, I don't belong here. I'm just, cleaning the...
when they were transporting out.
Right.
Right. And she says, you realize I'm just, and he says, yes, the cleaner. Yes, we know at your age, that's very impressive. And it was just such a way to downplay her. Like, yeah, all right, keep it moving. Let's go. We got something to do.
It was an interesting a fun little touch when she comes in to clean and she has her little lint brush and one of the chairs has cat hair all over it. We know that's Crazy Cat Lady. We know who did that one.
Yes.
Next week.
Mm.
And the crazy cat lady had a crazy line where she said, "Maybe I'll shave my," and I don't know what she was saying. It was
I
a
think
blink.
she was saying cat because she has, since she's a crazy cat lady, she has a lot of cats.
Yeah.
That was my guess. I don't know, John. Do you have a guess?
I'm yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll with it because
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe,
I thought whiskers. I thought it was
Yeah.
whiskers, but
could have been whiskers because it was 2 syllables. She said 2 syllables. I saw one.
yeah, shave my whiskers. I'm not sure. But you have to double check that one. Maybe watch
Puppy.
it with.
It might have been puppy, based on the way her mouth moved when she said it.
A lot of curse words in this one. They kept bleeping this thing out every so often. Beep beep, which I thought was hilarious. Even the mistime bleeps, which you mentioned earlier, right?
I love that.
But the ones that there were actual bleeps of curse words that were actually, those were funny as well. So I enjoyed the language in this particular episode too.
Earned his worth.
But how does Boimler look in this particular episode? Because he's always the smart, know-it-all guy so far. He's the guy that's over-prepared and over-anxious to get work done. Seems like he knows the protocol in and out. And then when he's on the bridge and they're like, "Oh, so what do you think we should do?" He totally yeah, what about
He's an idiot. Yeah.
He's an idiot, right? He's not ready for the moment.
I mean, it was funny though, because it does show the difference of, we've all seen this dynamic where the cool person says nothing and gets applauded, and then the uncool person says nothing and gets derided for it. You know what I mean? Like when Captain asks Mariner, she goes, "What do you think we should do, Mariner?" And Mariner goes, "Oh, I think you know exactly what to do," or something, just basically fluff. And she's like, "Oh, you're right." And then Boimler, she asks Boimler, "What do you think you should?" He's like, "Whatever you think you should do." And she's like, "You idiot."
It's no time for ass kissing.
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, but we've all seen those kinds of dynamics.
Yeah.
John has nothing to add to that. He just says, "Yep."
I've been in those kind of dynamics in the past.
Yeah.
So what's that character's name? I don't remember him before. The one that you were talking about next to Shax. I didn't remember him being featured before. He did get a lot of airplay in this particular episode.
Yeah, he's been around. He's kind of like the 5th bridge officer. He kind of bounces around. I think that's Billups. There are a couple officers like that, and I think he's kind of the main one. And
was it the one episode where they were like, "Oh, where they got the turbo lift," and like, "Hey, let's grab Jinx," and they chest bumped?
Yeah, that could be him, or it could be that bald guy. But this one is the reason I think he's got a little bit of a beefier role now is because he's being voiced by Paul Scheer, and Paul Scheer is a known actor in certain circles, a known comedic actor, so that's why he's getting a little bit of a beefier role, I think. But other than that, because they never really advertised having a 5th upper decker, but apparently when there is a 5th, he's that guy.
Yeah. Really good story development for all the characters. I thought it was like packed with stuff. So, I mean, it was just too much. There's a lot of stuff in this episode. And I like the twist at the end. I like the fact that he's like, "Yeah, what do you mean a trial? I'm here to celebrate." So it was a very good, a really good twist on the end. What did they say? The eel tank. I'm going to throw you into the eels.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, I never heard anybody dying from eels. So I
don't. And Tendi was like, "I think you're hurting the eels." And I was like, "Yeah, Tendi, you tell him. That's my girl. That's my Tendi Roni."
Yeah.
One of our cool chat pack commenters in the comments said, "No pun intended."
Oh God.
Oh yeah,
That's pretty good.
that's a pretty good one. I'll give you that one.
They've said it. They've said a few really good ones. I wish I could remember who said them so we could give them the shout outs, but we've seen a few pretty good ones when we do our Tendi wordplay. Tendi loin. I think I said that one before. And Tenderoni and Bartendi, but they've thrown some pretty good ones. No pun intended, I think was my favorite. Yeah. John, what's yours?
I like the bartending one. That was pretty good. That was good. I will go with the no pun intended. Will be a follow up.
All right.
Tenderosa. Tenderosa.
What's that? Like the Ferrari?
No, they made. I
Ferrari
thought it was
Tenderosa.
The old restaurant Ponderosa.
Yeah, the Ponderosa. That's what it is. I mixed it up. Sorry. It's like from the Western, the old Westerns, right? They would say, "Yeah, I'll meet you over there by the Ponderosa." Is that what it is?
I don't know, but I think what's cool about Tendi, I think why everybody likes her so much is she's really cute. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, she's a Tendi.
Yeah.
You don't think so? Sorry. Sometimes
she actually is really cute, though.
Yeah.
She is cute. She actually reminds me of. I know not in color, but in the size and like the shape.
Oh, not in color. You don't know somebody green?
Yeah, I don't know any green people, but she reminds me of Nikki DeBoer.
Oh, cute! Yeah.
She kind of has that same like short haircut, really small and petite frame. So I don't know. She kind of reminds me of a green Nikki.
Yeah.
There's a lot of innocence to her too, than the way she speaks. That real low or meek but higher pitched voice.
So you can see the reference there, right, John? I mean, it's just a little bit.
Yeah.
I can definitely make that connection.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we tend to lean towards her storyline more.
Oh yeah, let's pretend that we never heard that.
Yes, Cirroc, yes. Very good. Very good. Anyway.
The beam of celebration. I like that.
Yeah. Too. By the way, we should apologize to Don. He didn't realize that Cirroc and I are always contending for these jokes.
Nope. Not at all. That was you crossed the line, sir. No.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no further.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a great Bashir.
It's Picard.
Never mind.
That was a great Janeway, Ryan.
Yeah. That was a great Bashir doing an impersonation of Picard.
Yeah.
Excellent. There was a line too that the what's the captain's name on this show? Mariner's mom.
Yeah. How come we don't remember?
I don't know why I can't remember these.
Freeman, yeah. Like Morgan.
Yeah. She says something and she's like, yeah, you guys almost got killed at a thank you dinner. I like that line. It's like,
Send them a message if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you mean.
I don't.
We only have a minute or two left here, guys, but do you have any final thoughts or notes for it? I mean, I think we covered. I did like when they said it's obviously an alien prison, but then somebody else said, or a dungeon. It's like, that's cool, man. We've never seen a dungeon in Star Trek before. My mind kind of drifted with that one. But you guys have any final thoughts on this episode? I thought it was a fun one. I thought it was good. I liked that it had a completely different structure than all the others, which made it interesting. And, there wasn't really a story. There was a bunch of little stories in there, and I enjoyed all of that.
Yeah. Off the dungeon thing for a quick second, I think the closest thing that we've gotten to a dungeon in Trek, I would have to say, would be like the Hirogen trophy rooms where they have all the torture equipment.
The torture rooms.
Torture rooms. But no, if they don't have Q come back and actually do a full-on Q episode, pissed.
Well,
Nah.
we got
That's
2
what I gotta
episodes left. We got 2 episodes left. I don't know.
At least 10 seasons ahead of us, so.
At least 10 seasons ahead of us. I'm sure there'll be plenty of time for Q to make an appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of that. I think that was a really good episode. The thing that I enjoyed about it, and this is a structural thing, when I watch television shows or, in this case, an animated series, in which this story already occurred and now we're watching it played back. So they started at the end and then you go backwards. So I like that. I like those kinds of.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's a good point. That's one of those things where you kind of start at the end and you're piecing together what happened. But of course, since this is a comedy, you kind of find out that nothing really happened. It's all just kind of like a celebration in some weird way. And these guys are all just mysteriously quiet for whatever reason. Anyway.
They're all thinking these are idiots.
They are.
But I do want to end, aside from talking about the lower decks, I'm really happy that the USS Eisenberg was commissioned, and John, that you did a lot of work to make that happen, and everybody that's on board. It was a real pleasure for me to be involved and call up and hang out with you guys, talk about it, and pay homage to the late, great Aaron Eisenberg. So I think we should really, take our hats off to you, John, for continuing the legacy and, keeping the memory of Aaron fresh in our minds. I think that's what we're all trying to do here. And
yes,
should be noted.
That. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
It's put in a lot of time and a lot of work into it. And a few days ago, you had kind of the culmination of all that work with the commissioning. So big kudos to you. And thank you for keeping his name fresh in everybody's mind. It's good. We do everything we can to kind of keep Aaron as part of this thing. It's pretty easy because he just feels like he's part of this all the time. But it's great to see other people also keeping him around, keeping him relevant, keeping his name on the tips of people's tongues.
Absolutely. That's we plan on doing some pretty big things. And everything that we have going forward, I will make sure you guys get links to, invites to, full information. That way we can keep it out there for anyone that wants to join, because we're looking at doing some interesting stuff going down the road. We've got some plans in the works.
That's awesome.
Yeah, great.
Thanks. Definitely do keep us posted about all that.
One last thing I want to throw out there.
Yeah,
I
please.
need to make one running joke between Homer and I. Homer, I'm still waiting on my damn sushi.
I don't think we're supposed to get that one.
We're not supposed to get it, but I love running jokes.
Yeah, we do.
This one might remind you of one.
There it is.
There it is.
I thought you were going to say, what kind of bug was that thing that I had to throw outside earlier? It was the shield bug.
I bought the shield. I went to Walmart the other day, and the shield was there on the shelf. Bought it.
But it was a shield bug.
Shield bug, okay.
The shield, but that was Aaron's favorite thing to say.
Yeah. He loved some shield.
I love the shield somehow.
I loved him some Michael Chiklis, boy.
Mm-mm. All right. Time to go. But thank you so much, Mr. John Tufarella, for joining us and for keeping us awesome and for everything that you do with the USS Aaron Eisenberg. For joining the team.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me along.
Absolutely.
Great. And everybody at home, we got 2 episodes left. Also check out Virtual TrekCon. I hear that's a thing. It's going to be pretty big. Always remember the 7th rule.